We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, my fellow interwebers. It's Marco at Ground Zero, live from my swanky Gulf Coast underground bunker. I'm back to grace you with my better than the best masculine advice and life-changing insights.
You, sir, are a horseshit on you.
Oh, that wasn't nice. But I get it. Because today's show is about sarcasm. In dating, in relationships, when too much is too much, when enough is enough, and how to handle it. I'll also be giving you some insight about why sarcastic people are the way they are. The blast-proof doors are locked. The PC filtration system is activated. I vaporized the Irish Spring and released it into the atmosphere. It's manly. And the neo-femmes hate it. So what do you say? How about we start the show?
This is the Boulder Zone, the fusion of masculine advice and entertainment.
This is Sparta!
Here's your host, Marco Boulder.
Good to see you. The chats are up. Feel free to send me a question or comment there. So, sarcasm. It's often justified by saying, hey, I was only teasing. I was only kidding. However, the intent doesn't matter. It's the outcome that matters. Sarcasm has often become a negative habit and a way not to deal with items directly. Sarcasm can also be a way to refuse to find ways to be humorous in inappropriate ways. Sarcasm can be a way to tear someone down or gain control of a situation to make those people feel better. Sadly, people who use sarcasm as a way to express what I believe without consequences. This reinforces not developing respectful and effective ways to communicate. Personally, I'm seeing that sarcasm is being justified as a love language to some women. The problem is it's often misinterpreted. But the universal truth about sarcasm in relationships is it's not a good idea. While there are men and women that just shrug it off, many don't, and that's where the problem begins. So bringing sarcasm into a dating profile or on a first date, they run the risk of alienating the right one before anything can begin. Now, I understand that well-crafted sarcasm can demonstrate intelligence, a sense of humor, and sassy flirtation. But most people don't know when it becomes too much for their partner or their relative or business associate. Whether sarcasm is a sign of intelligent or flirtation or not, communication experts and counselors typically advise us to stay away from it. The reason is simple. Sarcasm expresses a sting of contempt, which can hurt others and damage relationships. As a form of communication, sarcasm can take on a real debt of conflict. The social reality is that today's misaligned feminist influences is forcing the old all men like a little sass belief into the past. Why? Because men are tired of the relationship gamesmanship and subsequent emasculation if they miss the mark. And sarcasm just creates another barrier to relationships, potential or otherwise. The irony is that men tell me while women say they are attractive to a sense of humor, if sarcasm enters in, they shut down, they get offended, and they're turned off. So why the double standard? Why do sarcastic women dish it out but can't take much of it? Why do they feel it's okay to criticize sarcastic men? Before I get into the meat of this, I understand that there are as many sarcastic men as women. This isn't about that. This is another example of how latitude afforded to women today grossly outweighs that of men. If you disagree, let me know in the comments. Completely fine. A study I found compared college students from upstate New York with students from near Memphis, Tennessee, and found that 44% of the Northerners and 65% of the Southerners weren't amused by sarcasm. For the sake of our argument here, let's average that to 50% overall. This means it's safe to assume that half of the people you deal with on a daily basis are put off by sarcasm. That's at work, at school, and at social events. So how do sarcastic people affect the 50% of the country who aren't impressed by sarcasm? Well, they probably see it as malicious and annoying. Now, I can just hear some of you hardcore smartasses right now. I really don't care. Screw them if they don't like my humor. Well, you know what? That's fine. You do you. But as far as your career and relationship path is concerned, you're probably shooting yourself in the foot. Speaking of careers and relationships, the good folks at BuzzFeed put together an amusing take on sarcasm that I think you'll enjoy.
Gabby, that is some shirt.
You've never seen it before? I got it from your mom's closet last night, so I just figure probably would have seen it.
I think I've never seen it because it was one of her maternity shirts.
No, she told me you were adopted. She was never pregnant with you, so sorry you have to find out this way.
No, maternity shirt would explain the size.
Oh.
Yeah. Good morning.
Morning to you too. You just have like a great day, like the best day you've ever had.
Gabby,
Andrew?
you quit hoarding the milk, please?
Nope.
Late night last night?
Yeah, I have this thing called a social life. Maybe you should look into it. Andrew, how'd that cream work out for you? Did you get rid of the swollenness and the redness in your downstairs area, or? Why do you guys hate each other?
Oh, we don't hate each other.
other.
Yeah. So I'll return your cream as soon as I'm done with it.
Okay, cool. Have fun trying to fit in with the rest of the people here. Oh, Andrew, you didn't tell me your girlfriend was here today. It's weird. You wouldn't introduce us.
Yeah, well, I guess that actually makes this a double date for us then, huh? Where your love life is.
Okay.
What is that?
It's your new background.
Hey, are you free right now?
No, I'm actually really busy. Someone left a to-do list for me, so I'm just gotta all these and then I'll get right to it.
It actually says eat them.
I'm gonna murder you. You raised in a barn? It's your first time drinking coffee? What is all this mess? Like, respecting the property.
You know, maybe if you weren't such a throbbing with a and some coming out of your I wouldn't be so all the time.
No! It's not how you talk to people.
Oh,
No. This is
Fine.
this is just how we. This is a bit.
yeah, we do.
This is just like how we talk to each other.
Yeah, thanks to the folks over at BuzzFeed for that. That's hilarious. Hey guys, if you decide to date or enter into a relationship with a sarcastic woman, here's a few things that you can expect. The half compliment, half insult. And an example of this is, you'll do for now, or I'm surprised how much I like you because you're not exactly my type. Part insult, part compliment. Pretty off-putting. Interestingly, if you ask a sarcastic woman why she does these things, why she says these things, she'll tell you it's how she shows interest or affection. That may be true, but it shouldn't be her excuse. To be fair, sarcastic women do tend to have soft hearts. It's in there, deep below all of those barbed compliments. So if you're a man who has no problem spelunking the sarcasm caves, she may work out for you. Text translations. Face it, sarcasm does not transfer well to text. A quick fix here is to use emoticons when conveying your message. So whether you're the sender or the replier, always add a little winky face or a sarcastic smile emoji, or just type, J/K for joking. It will save hurt feelings and heated discussions. Also, if you're not sure if the text is sarcastic, ask for clarification. If she's not some raging sadist, she shouldn't be offended much. Fair game. If you're okay with sarcasm, reciprocate. Throw that shit back to her. She should appreciate your little digs. They say they like it if you bite back. And sometimes it even turns them on. Check yourself first. Okay, here's the rub on that. You are dealing with a woman. Most of them don't understand the male thought process and reactions, and they're quick to emotion at any moment. So in the onset, keep your sarcasm on the lighter side. Well, at least until you can establish some sarcasm boundaries. So, what if a boundary is crossed? Being mean is not acceptable. If her humor stings or pisses you off, whether she's aware of it or not, that's no longer sarcasm. That's a shot. And if it's not immediately nipped in the bud, they won't know your boundaries, and that's on you. Reaffirm your boundaries. Use good judgment. A woman of value knows when and when not to be sarcastic. Unless you know it's okay, if you introduce her to your family members, your friends, and she resorts to the off-putting sarcasm, that too is crossing the line. Make it clear that your boundaries extend to your family and your friends. Don't humiliate her. Pull her aside and remind her of this. Be aware that many sarcastic people were raised in a sarcastic home, which means she spent her formative years thinking it's completely normal behavior, and she's probably just inadvertently slipped back to that being with your family. Keep in mind that her sarcasm to your family may also be an indication that she is comfortable with them. But that is still no excuse to look past it. As an adult, she should have experienced the consequences of misused rhetoric and should have learned how to tailor her delivery by now. Problems managing her sarcasm may be an indicator that there are deeper psychological issues at play. So in the onset of your relationship with her, with a woman, if you're curious how deeply her sarcasm is ingrained in her personality, check out her social media. Sarcastic people love sarcastic memes. This will give you an idea how raw or how sophisticated it is. Sarcastic people have impeccable memory recall. Remember that time you tripped on the sidewalk and did a face plant in front of her? Or that embarrassing story that your college buddy shared with her about you? A sarcastic person never forgets. All of your embarrassing moments are filed away in her little joke warehouse, primed for future express delivery with impeccable timing. They never forget, and they will never let you forget. So can you handle that? Sarcastic people think they're hilarious. Sometimes they say smart-ass things just because it makes them laugh. If you are also fluent in sarcasm, you'll likely find their antics hilarious too. Believe it or not, a sarcastic woman is capable of genuine love. Sarcasm is likely the result of how they overcame life's challenges. This could be a defense mechanism to keep her heart protected, or it could be a coping mechanism because sometimes even the most confident people get nervous about meeting new people or working a room. Sarcasm can be an overbearing personality trait that can overshadow you. But it usually does not overshadow her ability to love. It's a difficult concept for the less sarcastic to grasp, but it's most likely true. The trick is determining if it means you found a woman who doesn't take life too seriously or it's a defense mechanism. Healthy sarcasm does not define a person. It refines them. If you're dating and you find sarcasm amusing too, meet her little snark with your own edgy retort. I bet you'll get a foot in the door. Know that when she does give you a sweet, barb-free compliment, they are genuine and she most likely trusts you and cares for you. For the sarcastic, they believe life is too short not to rub a little salt into the wound. To them, it's just a joke. But they will love a person deeply who can at least dance on the edge of that. However, don't lose yourself in this tango. She must respect your sarcasm limitations and appreciate your personal brand of humor too. To her benefit, no one looks back in their life and says, gee, I wish I would have been more serious and less lighthearted. That's their mindset. So the big question is sarcasm unhealthy in a relationship? By all indications, yes. But the question isn't necessarily if sarcasm is unhealthy for a relationship, but whether you feel it's unhealthy for your relationship, despite what the experts say. Consequently, self-inquiry, responsibility, and self-mastery are the solutions to managing too much sarcasm in a relationship. Here are a few tips to get you or your partner on that path. Don't say everything you think. There are going to be times you will think up a cutting remark or a snappy comeback, and you'll probably even rehearse them in your head. Then they'll sound pretty good rolling around in your brain. But just because you think it doesn't mean you have to say it. It sounds simple, but it's tougher to follow through than you might imagine. When you are irritated at your partner, give yourself a timeout to cool off. Think about what you need to say before you say it. Then make an appropriate and constructive comment in a loving way. Keep that snark to yourself. You won't explode. Keep your body language in check. Communication science tells us that the major part of any message conveyed is through body language rather than the spoken word. So you might think you're doing well by not saying everything that's in your mind to your partner, while your body language is loudly screaming, snark. You know? Your eye roll, your vacant stare, your crossed arms, your furrowed brow, and your fake smile will always communicate what's going on in your head. These messages can be just as damaging as hurtful remarks. It will take practice, but it's important work to any relationship. Schedule a time to talk. Plan a meeting as needed with your partner to discuss relationship issues. This provides an alternative to saying something in the heat of the moment that you'll likely regret. That's beyond sarcasm, maybe. You have the power to change sarcastic behavior in your communication. When talking, don't be tempted by biting remarks that will only cause negative effects in your partner, like defensiveness or anger or shame. Unbridled sarcasm communicates a lack of respect and just reinforces any preconceived notions that your partner is an asshole. Learning to master what you say and what not to say will work wonders to build and protect a future of comfort and security between the two of you. So, with that, we're going to go ahead and roll on here. Folks, if you want to know more about how to best manage the sarcasm of others or yourself, give me a call. If I can pull this one up. God, there we go. Right there it is. I'll help you out. Guys, I'm here to get you on a path of self-confidence, self-assurance, and contentment. Gals, if you want to better understand men, I'm here for you too. Just call or email. Boulder Zone is the hub for all I do for you. Great relationship articles, testimonials, viewer questions and answers. Hey, I can even take your questions there too. Social media. All my podcasts and shorts are out there on YouTube. Advice on masculinity, advice on relationships, insider music reviews, unique interviews. Check them out for me. Give them a like. And if you haven't yet, please go ahead and like and subscribe, okay, to this show. When you are so inclined, I'm out there on all of those social media places as well. That's not it. I'm out there on the Twitter. I'm out there on the TikTok, the Instagram, the Facebook, all of that stuff. Just search the Boulder Zone, each one of those, and you'll find me. Talk to me. Send me a message. I'd love to hear from you. Okay, so it's time for Uncle Marco to open the blast-proof bunker doors and get some fresh salt air. Until next time, you know what to do.
Get Boulder.